Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Dr. Levive.
And I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta.
And most lame.
Well, to some. And in honor of Nuka World from Fallout 4, we're doing Whimsyworld. Whimsyworld, wow. We're doing Whimsywood by Slimebeast. So for those of you not in the know, creepypasta are short internet stories that get copied and pasted across the internet. They're spooky or spoopy. Go Google it. You'll find a bunch of them. And go check out Slimebeast's stuff, because some of it's okay. But yeah, we'll get into this one.
And for those of you also not in the know, Nuka World is the final DLC for Fallout 4, and it just launched like 48 hours ago, as of this recording. And this is a happy coincidence, because certainly we would not honor something with this. It would be like an ancient pagan making a sacrifice of, I don't know, something really horrifically bad.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll jump right into this one. So the narrator, again, no name, recounts the story from his past. He really doesn't like road trips or long drives or the waiting.
So much so that this is how he starts every conversation.
Yeah.
I really fucking hate road trips.
Yeah, and I don't take hate lightly. I really hate road trips. Long drives, can't stand them. And on one of these long trips, to his grandma in Arizona, cross country somewhere, they are passing signs to a little amusement park called Whimsywood. His parents relent into going and giving a much wanted break from his hated waiting in the car. As they pass the signs, he notices that they're all fairly old and like worn out and stuff. And the park is out behind a tree line down a gravel road. Surprisingly, though, the park is fairly active. They go through an admittance building, which with an arcade, and the boy plays a centipede-like game called Skull and Crossbow, but gets bored after he dies a couple times and goes and meets up with his parents, who are talking to a staff member, and she's kind of creepy and apparently smells like urine, but is all happy and has like a unicorn decoration thing on her forehead for like the mascottery of the theme park. And they quickly leave and go into the park proper, where they then go to the petting zoo, and there's kids there just petting and chasing around the animals, and this guy sitting on a hay bale in the center, and as the boy's playing like petting the animals and stepping in shit, the guy gets his attention and brings him to the hay bale, and then shows him
nothing bad comes from an old man saying, "Hey kid, I got something to show you. Get over here."
Yeah. He pulls some straw away and reveals a horribly killed chicken under the straw.
It's not horribly killed. It's just dead.
It's dead
It's dead and rotting.
All right, fine.
It's a thing that happens.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, freaked out, though.
The game was not called Skull and Crossbone. It was called
Skull and Crossbow. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Here's my...
Did I say bones? Okay, sorry.
I think you said bones.
I said bones.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Because
we'll get into...
grab I got.
Okay. Really?
Interesting.
Surprise. Freaked out by the dead chicken, and the guy just kind of being creepy. He runs off to his mom and tells her about what he saw, but she misunderstands the sinisterness of it all, and he just can't put it into words, so he just doesn't bother trying. And that's when there's an announcement that comes on over the PA for the Timber Tunnel ride, and so all the boys and girls are brought over to this track.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah. The boy gets on with a bunch of other kids, and the parents watch as they go into the tunnel.
Not a single parent getting with them.
No. They're just bye, have fun. Yeah.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think they gotta do it? No, not a chance. Bye. As they're going through the tunnel, there's a lot like a lumberjack, like a faded lumberjack character on like pinup kind of, or not pinup, like one of those stand-up things made of wood or something. That's what, yeah, maybe. And so in the tunnel itself, there are like these tiny lumberjacks, like robot, like animatronics, like barely like just like those water chicken dispenser things that you see on office desks.
The water drinking bird.
That's it, yeah. Words, okay?
Delicious
I haven't had my coffee today, okay?
They're very popular, and I think the alien.
Yes.
I mean, the sleep paralysis movie.
God damn it. I know what my next poster needs to be drawn up as. Sleep paralysis. Done up like Alien. Anyway, so these little robotic lumberjacks just chopping wood. But as they go farther into the tunnel and go faster, also there's a little theme going on, but I'm not going to repeat it because I can't remember it. The theme goes faster and faster to the point where it's just gibberish. And he sees that these lumberjack robots are now just chopping people, and it starts getting a little like bloody, but like in a fake way. Like there's like weird like red streamers or something like that where the blood's coming out of.
Red metal.
Yes, yeah, red wiring. Yeah. And the song's playing and speeding up, and the boy gets hit in the face by something and slides into the bottom of the cart as the lights all go out and stuff. And only shortly after realizing that the kid beside him is gone, everything goes quiet, save the sound of lots of chewing nearby. And he just kind of huddles in there until the cart keeps going, and he eventually exits the tunnel and finds that no one's around. He goes to the parking lot and finds his parents and all the other parents, minus their kids, are just going to their cars to leave. When he reaches his parents, they snap out of it, at least enough that out of this weird trance that they seem to be in, enough that they bring the kid with them when they leave. After a while, during the rest of the trip, they begin. The parents suddenly, they're mid conversation about Whimsyworld, just suddenly start acting like it was all a dream that the boy had. On the return trip, though, back from Grandma's house, they see the signs, and the mom asks if he wants to go stop by. The boy declines. The end.
You forgot about the cars behind him after he left. The other cars that came from Whimsywood.
Oh, yeah.
They were
that's
throwing
right,
anything that might, tie to them ever having had a child out the window.
Yeah.
Because that's all you need for a place like this to stop.
Yeah.
There will be no police again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, I have a comment about that, too. So I learned a new word this week. Pennant. A flag denoting a sport champion or achievement. Also, the triangular flag on ships for events. I'm sorry, I never knew what the name of that flag was.
But did you never have one hanging in your room?
No.
Did you never root for a local sports team?
Once long ago, but I never knew what the name of the flag was called.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry,
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, it's just, I thought that was a pretty common term. What was it?
Spartan.
A week? Yeah. At least that's kind of obscure. And, to know that it means a bare bones furnished room. Everyone knows what a fucking Spartan is because of 300.
Yeah.
But, that one I knew before. But pennant,
Yeah. I honestly got confused and thought, what the fuck is penance?
I hate... Yeah, it's that's a weird way to spell penance.
Yeah.
Also, why would a child be carrying them?
So yeah, it was a stupid thing. I was like, oh, what the fuck is it? Oh shit, really? That's what that? All right. Well, I learned a new word. I now know what it feels like to be Mikey. E stands for evil. One of these.
And yet, no one knows what it's like being me. To be the bad man.
So. There was a bunch of spelling errors that kept coming up, and I was kind of surprised because this is on the creepypasta.wiki and also on Slimebeast's website, and it's the same. Those same spelling errors are in both of them. So I was just like, really, you couldn't have just, it would have just been a tiny little fix. It would have, like, reading it over would have been, you would have been able to, like, there were typos, like, there were, like, spelling
errors. He just uploaded the same file.
Yeah. Yeah, a simple read over would have fixed that. But, yeah.
I don't understand why you think. Like, I mean, I have officially given up on people. Well, no, I haven't. I just don't understand why you're so hung up on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's in two places.
But it's the same.
But it's the same spelling mistakes.
Yeah,
I read them both to be sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I
don't know. I think I got something more concerned about right now. My friend is a little fucked up.
I just thought I would have expected a little bit better when you put it on your own website, but
yeah.
Sorry for putting something on a higher standard than usual.
For having faith in humanity.
Yeah,
well,
seriously.
I'll beat that out of you eventually.
Yeah. Also, this is another stupid one that I had. There's a part in the petting zoo area, part of paragraphs, where that grabbed me for some reason. One of the lines mentions feces to describe the animal poop. And then, like, right after that, he's like, after I was done stepping in shit, it's like, really? Like,
Yep.
Like, that's actually was that actually like a legit complaint about that, or something that would have grabbed, like, I was just like, you went through the trouble of using feces and not using swear words, and then you use shit. I was like...
Exactly. There's no reason for the word shit, because you're following around a little kid with the story, right? Mm-hmm. So to keep the language non-vulgar...
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying you've got to, flower it up with fucking, like, ooh, I stacked in poopies. I mean, like, poop's fine.
Yeah.
It's a term that a kid would use. And I understand that this is, an
adult recounting.
Yeah, an adult recounting, but it takes us out of the recount to have the word shit in there.
Yeah.
Unless it was, like, a quote of an adult. That, like, obviously would be a very different thing.
Mm. It's a very quick journey into this backroads amusement park.
Oh, and fuck you. Fuck you, it's a quick journey.
Hang on. I mean, pacing-wise.
It takes, like, 10 days of reading before you get to this fucking park.
I'm not done yet. I mean, when it finally get to the place, and it's not, and it's, there's creep, you're never really, like, to me, I was never really, like, I was like, is this going to be creepy, like, supernatural, or is this going to just be, like, creepy folk, like, creepy people in a mundane situation thing? Until the tunnel thing, and then, like, you're hearing the chewing and stuff, and then suddenly, and then the kid gets out, and, like, everybody's, like, in a trance.
Then the parents are magically forgetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
Like, I had a bunch of questions, actually. Like, I had a bunch of questions leaving the tunnel that were good. Like, what the fuck's that mud? Like, what are they, like, cannibals? Are they ghouls? Are they, what's... And then you get exit the tunnel and it's like, wait, why are all the parents leaving? Like, there was a bunch of different questions about that, including, like, the consequences. Like, there's no consequences to this, like, so, wait, this place just keeps, like, cycling in, like, newcomers, and, like, they gather everybody in the entire amusement park to this tunnel, bring their kids through... magic the parents into going away.
This is obviously not like our Canada's Wonderland.
No.
I don't even think it's on the same scale as
Santa's Village.
No. Yeah.
It's more of a carnival.
Although it's kind of similar to that, but it's like a carnival in the middle of the woods.
Well, like a permanent carnival.
Yeah.
But it's... Yeah. The fact that they would have a ride that can fit everyone there is a little
like
ridiculous.
all of the kids.
Yeah. The other thing, the creepiness in the scenarios like that happen, like the petting zoo scene and like the arcade scene and the tunnel scene, definitely those intrigued me.
What the fuck happens in the arcade
Well,
scene?
just like the creepy, like the start. It starts the whole like with the creepy, like something's weird or something's kind of like off about this place with the old staff.
It introduces a stinky person.
Anyway, yeah, yeah, but there is some like something off. Like there's definitely something off about her.
Yeah,
but
he tries to set a creepy tone and just, I don't know, fails to me.
Yeah. And yeah, I like the idea of that this story is trying to present, I believe, because personally I just think that this is like a amusement park run by sorceress cannibals. But the consequences that are not addressed about the circumstance of like these people just magicking away the parents to go home and like throw out all their stuff, like there'd be police searches for these missing kids.
Yeah,
and
eventually
whatnot.
someone, I mean, unless they've written these kids out of existence,
Yeah,
or out of everyone else's minds, like
not just the
everyone's
parents.
minds,
yeah.
then why is the kid who didn't get eaten not affected? Why does he remember the kids? So,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's not the case. Because
I was actually-
he
yeah.
remembers them.
Yeah.
So their friends are going to remember them.
Right.
Their friends' parents are going to remember their teachers are going to remember
exactly,
them.
yeah, because it only affect I was actually expecting a slightly better thing where like there's like some kind of weird doppelganger thing going on or something like that. But that's only because I've recently read a Monster No Childish Thing scenario called Road Trip, Sucrose Park, where the theme park is bringing kids in, making them stay, and then replacing them with robot doppelgangers. And that's how they're getting around the fact that, like, kids aren't disappearing en masse because the monster in the theme park wants to keep the kids around. But yeah, like that was like the fact that like these parents are just forgetting that they have kids and driving away. Yeah. That does not mean that that you can still like on the return trip the theme park's still there. So how is it still in business in the business of the macabre?
Well, because no one remembers stopping.
Yeah.
So it would never get investigated. But I mean, like, that's still like a shit ton of people driving by the same location.
Yeah.
And like, what are you talking about? I suddenly never had a kid. And it's like, yeah, like this. Eventually, someone's going to pick up on this, and it boggles the mind that that's the ending to the story.
Yeah,
because
like it has a creepy ending, but when you think about it, it's not. And not,
like
not
3
even,
seconds.
Yeah, you don't even have to think really hard because, like, I read this. I like creepypastas, and even reading this, I was just like, 5 seconds later, wait, police would be around here, or like the people would be like out en masse looking for children. But yeah, it's the creepiness kind of like gets bogged down, or like the cool creepiness of the story gets kind of bogged down by the fact that there's no consequence to this place, seemingly. But yeah, that's what I've got for the story. So, Mikey, he stands for you.
Okay. Well, my first issue deals with the fourth wall. As most creepypastas have at the beginning, it says, like, this is true, yada yada, I'm telling this for you or whatever.
Yeah.
This one says, I'm going to tell you about one of these trips. The most mind-numbing, boring trip yet.
Yeah.
So, I was going to let that slide, because normally we let one slide.
We always let one go. You always get one.
everybody gets one.
But then, midway through, after they're talking about the old man and the chicken,
Yeah.
he said,
The Old Man and the Chicken. Sequel to The Old Man and the Sea. It was less thrilling, but less salty.
Anyway, so the protagonist runs to his mom, and he tells her about the chicken, and says, oh, you know that, creatures die type thing.
Yeah.
And then it says, as you no doubt already know, that wasn't the problem I was having with the whole situation. And it's like, okay, so it was the maggots, it was the old man telling them to be quiet and not tell other children.
Did you guys not read the fact, like, that the neck was, like, snapped around and stuff? Because that's what I got
even
out of
if
that.
it's
Was that
dead.
Just a dead bird.
Yeah, still.
And the dead bird is already out of the equation. It's
Like,
not the
I
fact
mean,
that it's dead.
unless the guy was showing him and like,
Yeah.
and he'd like, like it had bite marks, and that's when the kid noticed a little bit of blood at the corner of his mouth. Like, that's creepy because he's eating he's eating it like a wolf would.
Yeah.
But it's just a fucking dead animal. Like, I don't know about Mikey or the cultist here, but I am familiar with that big kid at, school who, finds a dead animal and shows all the younger kids, because, it's a dead animal. Oh, he's cool. this guy is just a really old version of that big kid with a dead animal.
Yeah, and this kid's kind of just a bit of a screamer.
Exactly.
Alright, fine.
Like...
Yeah, because, I mean, as a kid, I used to, like, find, like, raccoon skulls and javax them to bleach them so that they would be, like, sterile and stuff.
Okay, so you were the big kid showing up.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, the point that I'm making is that the author assumed I knew what he was trying to get at, and I went back, reread it, and I was like, I'm still not
okay, so
seeing what I'm supposed to know.
Apparently I'm the one who kind of got that.
Oh, I got it. I just didn't
care?
agree.
Okay.
Like, I knew what he was trying to say. He was trying to say that it was creepy, but it wasn't, to me.
Yeah.
Maybe his target audience, like 4.
So, next, to do the arcade game, Skull and Crossbow.
Yeah.
Is actually a fictional game.
Yeah.
That was created by Slimebeast in another creepypasta. Called Attract Mode.
Okay.
Now, he breaks the continuity between stories because that's essentially a possessed arcade machine that when you die in-game, it comes out and eats you.
So, why didn't it get this kid?
Yeah.
Okay, and also here's, because what I say is related to that. Okay, I've never played a game called Centipede.
Really?
Really.
Okay.
So, I don't know of his description of it, but honestly, it sounds a lot more like Space Invaders.
Centipede's very similar to Space Invaders.
Okay. Why would you use Centipede when Space Invaders is right there?
I agree with you. Like, I think it should. Well, he did. I think doesn't he try to describe a little bit of what's going on?
He tries to describe it.
Yeah,
yeah.
But Centipede is also a fairly common Atari game or like arcade game.
Okay,
yeah.
But
Space Invaders is definitely
in the Atari age.
Yeah,
Like literally had one of those awesome Ataris with fake ass wood paneling.
Yeah,
it was amazeballs. My childhood rocked. I've played Space Invaders. Mm-hmm. I've never played Centipede. Now, based on this limited knowledge, because I just found out that Centipede actually existed, like, just now, I gotta assume that Space Invaders is the more popular game. The game more well-known. The game better used as a reference.
You're probably right.
Well, yeah.
I don't know, like, again, I knew a lot of... I played several versions of Centipede as a kid, so I knew...
Galaga!
Yeah, but...
Well, because no one ever remembers Galaga.
Yeah, well, the key difference is that with Space Invaders it's going back and forth, but in Skull and Crossbones you have picture a centipede going across the screen, and then going back, and then you shoot it, and then a part of it falls off.
Alright.
So it's different, and then in Centipede you have mushrooms that actually block you from hitting the centipede, and you can destroy the mushrooms by shooting at them constantly.
Yeah.
Isn't that just like the shields in Space Invaders?
Except if the shields were like dotted around and they were actually stopping you from hitting the space invaders.
Alright.
I'm actually a little surprised that you've never played Centipede, because I thought it was actually a very prominent game.
It may have. I just may have missed it.
Fair.
I'm willing to cede that point, but yeah. Because honestly, I assumed that it was like one of those like Snake games. That's what I assumed, because I really could have Googled it and saved myself this embarrassment. That wouldn't have been fun. And I was like, and then I read the description, I'm like, that doesn't sound like that at all.
Yeah.
So it was just a big old mess of confusion, and thank you too for straightening me out. Because,
you were just totally confused about it.
So so Centipede has similarities with Space Invaders, but it's different enough to warrant being its own thing.
Yes.
Or its own example. And this game is apparently just fuck.
So next, I pointed out 2 spelling mistakes that I found. Well, not spelling mistakes, but wrong word.
Okay.
When they introduce the round lady, talking to the mother, and then he comes up, and then she says hello to him, and I didn't answer her. Instead, cleaving to my mom's leg.
Yeah, cleave. Yeah, that made me double take that I kept reading. So, yeah,
it's clinging would be the probable word that he was looking for, but
because cleaving is to like cut.
Yeah,
You cut your own mother's leg. I think I actually have another one, but I want to hear if it's the same one that your next one.
Well, the next one is a simple letter change, and it would have been fixed. This is when... where it was? I think it was near the end, but he was making fun of me, acting like I wasn't making end sense.
Yeah, I actually noticed a lot of those, like, just words that were like...
any sense.
Yeah.
So...
the one I was actually going to bring up was at the very beginning when they go into... Well, not the very beginning, because that would be during the road trip. When they get to the to the parking lot and they're walking to the long, short building... He literally describes the building that goes into the admittance building as long but short.
It's long
and okay,
and short.
All right,
as in it's a single story. Which why would it have been? Whatchamacallit? Why would it have been multi-story?
Yeah,
I mean, obvious.
All right. Well, that was like, you know what I'm saying.
It was unnecessarily descried.
Yeah.
Well,
like kind
you're
of
nitpicking.
Yeah, it is a nitpick. I didn't even have it in my notes. But
he should have. Yeah, he should have described it as a long single-story building.
Yeah.
That would have taken away your ability to nitpick.
Yeah.
But you are still nitpicking.
Yeah, no, I will concede to that.
Yeah.
The next thing I have is basically unneeded text. When we get the song Lumberjack Dan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I've got to trump you on cleave.
Oh.
Cleave can mean to cling to.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I knew that was the case, but I really had to look it up because I was going to sound like a moron if I didn't.
Fair enough.
Again, cling is the better word.
Because it doesn't confuse people.
No, because it didn't confuse me either, but it's the better word because cling has one meaning.
Yeah.
That meaning is
to cling.
To fucking stick to.
Yeah.
Cleave has two very different meanings.
Yeah.
Literally to stick to or to fucking split through. Obviously one's the right choice. I mean, when you're writing, you have to make those choices to have people understand. And didn't even consider the reader. Dick move. Anywho, sorry.
Alright, back to the new text. So, he has the song of Lumberjack Dan, and then when he gets to the point where it's sped up, he basically takes the song, shortens it down, and then copies and pastes it twice.
Yeah.
We only needed it the once to sort of understand what was happening with the speeding up of the song.
Yeah.
Also, it's a sped up song.
Yeah.
I think we get it. We didn't even need it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the description would have been fine.
I'm just saying, like, you copy and pasted something that was right above it. Who's going to read that?
Yeah, I literally just...
Especially when it's gibberish.
I was like, alright.
So, alright. Next, I'm going to talk about the section where I got derailed.
Okay.
So, which is the timber tunnel.
How fortuitous.
AKA the climax.
So...
This is where you're supposed to be, like, fucking, oh, what's gonna happen next? And he gets derailed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the protagonist gets into the cart, and then the old lady comes around checking people to make sure they're secure. And he needs a adult for a brief moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that scene. I was like, what are you... Alright, it's over. Alright.
But the key takeaway is that he's secured in the cart. Okay?
Oh, okay.
And then the ride is almost over. He gets kicked with a flying foot uppercut. And it is almost like someone had flown past while kicking out violently. So that's
the kid. Yeah.
Putting the scene. But then, right after, reeling from the shocking blow, I slipped beneath the safety bar and crumpled to the floor of the cart.
He's strapped in.
He's strapped in. There's no way to move, especially if he has a guy beside him, which then disappears.
Everyone else is strapped in.
Yeah.
But they got lifted out like they were I don't know, some sort of hors d'oeuvre in a tray. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but you know what I mean.
It's also kind of an adequate analogy when you think about it.
But
hors
even,
d'oeuvres.
It's not even adequate when you, or it's adequate without thinking. It's pretty spot on and in your face.
but even still, the carts, like, just thinking of regular carts that you have, there's not much room.
Like he's just like shrinking at this point
underneath a bar.
Oh, I'm not arguing with you.
So,
I'm just pointing out that this scene is just rife with fallacy.
Yeah. So that actually took me away from the action. I continued reading.
Yeah.
But I wasn't paying as much attention.
You were
to the
focused
story.
on something you had read a few lines up.
Yeah. And so when it got to the scene where it's like all I heard was a sound like a restaurant full of customers obnoxiously slurping soup, I actually envisioned a restaurant with people having soup, and then there's cows, and it's like, okay, well, there is a petting zoo, so that makes sense that they might have cows.
There's a brief moment where I was like, oh wait, so it's like, are they like feeding, like, so there's a restaurant that serves children?
Yeah, I honestly thought at that point that he was talking about what the parents were doing. I was like, oh, the parents are eating.
Yeah. But coming back, because I reread it, it actually makes it sort of more creepy because he's hearing
the munching,
whatever the monster is slurping the kids.
Yeah. It's creepy. Like if you don't think on it too hard, it's creepy.
Yeah, but it took me out. The scene before took me out. So when I read that, I didn't see the creepiness, and then I was left with, okay, now the adults are walking away. I don't understand what's happened.
I was trying to figure out, like, right before he exits the tunnel and finds nobody, I was like, how is this a plan? Like, you bring all these children into this tunnel, eat them, and then the parents find out that they're missing, like, and then suddenly they're all like walking away in a trance. Like, okay, so you just magicked it away. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's all that I have to say.
Really?
On those.
All right.
So that's your time, Dr. Leviathan.
Down.
I don't need a soapbox. There might be a creepy idea in here, but this story, from its bones up, is fucking garbage. Horrible, horrible garbage. He spends God knows how much of this story in the goddamn car waiting for fucking signs. He spends time explaining that, his mom tried to help him out with road trips by having a stack of comics or new action figures, but he always fucking ruined it by snooping them out early. It's like, well, you know what? Your plight of hating fucking road trips? Not my problem. All you, buddy. All you. Mm-hmm. You made your bed, you get to lie in it, you can't whine about how lumpy it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but it didn't need to fucking be in there. The shit about the comic books and the fucking...
Yeah.
Like, he could have just said, I always hated road trips. No matter how many fucking comic books or toys I brought with me, all of a sudden, I can still sympathize with them, and it saved me like half a fucking hour. Or at least, that's what it felt like. Mm-hmm. And it's fucking, like, things like the comic book and the action and the toys. Like, it's pointless. All it does is just make more words. Mm-hmm. Spending all of that time in the car, where nothing is happening in the car.
Yeah.
You're not being creeped out. You're not really getting to know the character.
Yeah.
You're just...
Not until we see the first sign does it actually get relevant.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In the car.
And there's no real conversation because he says that the tires are drowning out the noise in the front.
I don't understand that at all. Like,
so he can't
as a person that has driven across flat states, like interstates.
Oh, and also
the
the fact that it's the sound of tires over concrete.
Oh no, that's actually there's a lot of roads in like interstates and stuff in the States are concrete, not asphalt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as a Canadian, that fucked me up.
Yeah. No, that would have. Yeah. But yeah.
It was a nitpick though, but yeah, like it's just, it goes on. And I mean, like, even once he sees the sign, it just keeps going on and on. It's like, okay, there's nothing creepy or entertaining or remotely fucking intriguing about the backseat of a car. Unless you're there with a hot dame. It's just like, oh my god, get out of the fucking car. I don't care if it's still moving, just get out of the car, because the story will be more interesting once that happens.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that. But it's been so much there. And then, okay, the whole fucking scene in the fucking, I don't know, entry building?
Yeah, the admittance building, whatever it is.
He thinks he's painting a picture of creepiness, and like, yeah, it's creepy. If you're like a little kid, like our narrator in the story.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're just being a dickwad. Again, like, you know, oh, she has bad breath. She has yellow teeth. Like, don't get me wrong, not cool. Definitely wouldn't want to hang out with this lady, but you're not, like, the only reason I know you're trying to be creepy is that I'm reading a creepypasta.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, give me something. Give me something. You know, the nod to the previous, or like a different creepypasta would have been cool if it had have maintained a continuity. Mm-hmm. I genuinely would have appreciated the tooting of his own horn.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's just a name drop of one of his own things, and then again, like, I mean, I've seen it in things where, like, I've seen it in shows and sometimes
that would
like,
be
where,
like
Monster or whatever. Like, it's like I guess for like in The Conjuring, like you see Annabelle, like the doll. And then, you know, there's the Annabelle doll now movie. Like, now that you've seen that movie, that's a little bit more sinister because that thing's in a cage, but that thing's in, like, essentially like a cage or something like that in this person's museum.
Whereas this isn't in a cage. It's in a fucking arcade.
It's being allowed to be played, especially now that I know that, like, the thing eats you after you die in it.
Mm-hmm. So, it's, I mean, you're not even bothering to keep your own continuity with your own shit.
Maybe you've had it, like, not be
don't
played,
get me
just
wrong.
in the background.
Don't get me wrong. That didn't bother me because obviously I just found out for this recording that it was a different creepypasta. However, he's trying to, like, slowly turn up the creep level, but that video game is pointless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It, like, that whole chunk of the story could just be cut / gone. So much. And then, the petting zoo. Again, not really creepy. Like, again, I know it was supposed to be because I'm reading a creepypasta, and you told me you were creeped out. Okay, but I'm still not. And I'm the one that you're actually trying to creep out, not some imaginary younger you.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it could have been alright if it had of, like, these could have been good places to start if he had have gone anywhere where the line was the same. Because then, all of a sudden, it's fucking get on the lumberjack ride, and, you know, now kids are being eaten out of the fucking...
Yeah, like a small buffet.
The roller scorer.
Like
the roller coaster car.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit! Also, how fast is this place... Well,
how big is this, like, this tunnel?
Well, obviously it's large because it's containing some unnameable horror.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, they gotta be made sure they're strapped in, but it seems like they go at a snail's pace.
Yeah.
So...
Until it speeds up, but, like...
Yeah, but
it's not running that fast.
Yeah, it just...
If it was going fast, like...
He could make out details of small figures...
Yeah, exactly.
Cutting down people.
Yeah.
Like, it obviously was not going very fast. And just like, but all of us, like, we go from an old man showing you a dead, rotting chicken to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a tonal shift that is, I would almost say jarring, but that would almost validate it. It's just, what?
Yeah, there's nothing that leads up to
children being eaten.
Yeah, just straight up being eaten, yeah.
Like, and what's eating them? Who are the old people? Like, who's the old lady? Who's the old man?
Yeah.
Are they what's eating the children? Or do they just work for it? Like, no, we're just leaving the fucking park. And, again, it's like the front half and the back half of two different stories taped together. And guess what? I can see the seam. The glue's still dripping out of it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just unacceptable, or at least it should be unacceptable, that complete tonal shift, because what you had was what could have eventually, if it had have taken its time and built up to being a creepy, but still existing in the real world, amusement park.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe
it could have been, eventually. If he had have taken, and we're going back full circle to where I started, if he'd have taken, fucking sitting in the car, cut it, gone, at least, like 80% of it.
Yeah.
80% of that could have gone, the story would not have suffered.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Taken those words, rearranged them so they said very different things, maybe even changed some of them, put them after the chicken scene, and build up to something. Like, okay, you've heard Captain Solanum use the rule of escalation.
Yes.
Okay? The rule of escalation, technically, this follows it. But the rule of escalation is supposed to be so that there are little steps. Not little step, giant fucking leap!
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to get worse in increments. And the increment is set, but that these are going to be very tiny steps. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, kids get eaten, story's over. It's just, that is just, it's bad writing. Mm-hmm. It's honestly like he just wanted to fucking get this over with. So I'm gonna have all the children get eaten in the tunnel. I'm gonna have the parents magically forget and throw shit out the windows.
Yeah.
Without thinking about ramifications of this situation. I'm not saying that's what happens. I'm saying that's what it fucking reeks of to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, that is probably very similar to what happened, because I'm not going to say I'm going to throw things into his put things into his mouth, but from what I've heard and what I've read in interviews with Slimebeast, it seems like he just makes stories to go around a concept that he wants to explore, but doesn't
actually fucking explore it. Exactly. Now, this all made sense because I had all of these fucking gripes. And then I got to the end and I was like, oh, credited to Slimebeast. Then it all made sense. Because this is what all of his fucking stories do. They don't flow like a proper story. They just have events. And then they're over. This one, I was actually thinking, oh man, this could be kind of cool. And then they fucking get eaten in the tunnel. And I was like...
It's a big escalation. It's like, it's a leap.
You don't know what the fuck you're doing, do you? Like, I could have fucking forgiven the car ride. I really could have. Because that's at the start. And by the end, I could have forgotten it. If it had have been good.
Yeah.
Also, by stretching out the escalation to the point, maybe not where kids are getting eaten in a car, but to the point where someone's in peril.
Yeah.
That would have made the story longer, which would have made the intro justifiably long.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, it's the right ratio of intro to,
to plot, or whatever, yeah.
I mean, it still honestly should have been cut. But yeah, there is... I genuinely feel like this was written and then never read by the writer at all in any regard, which is the worst fucking crime that anyone can commit in writing. Because, I mean, rape and murder are still pretty bad.
Yeah.
But in writing, to write something and then never read it and then hand it over to other people to read, that's just mean. Because, this would have gotten caught by, man, this doesn't fucking make sense. Anyone would have caught that. Even if you wrote it yourself and you were so on your own goddamn dick, you would have fucking been like, man, that's not how stories work.
Yeah, I do agree. If you gotten rid of the beginning part or shortened it, and
by 80%.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a little cut here. I'm talking about fucking an actual edit. And that's what that boils down to. Is this thing didn't get edited, and it fucking should have.
Yeah. Also, I think, the escalation, we get that, we get, something kind of like unnerving, like more or less just kind of like off-putting with the woman in the arcade. Then we get a petting zoo with a dead chicken and a creepy old dude who's like,
and honestly,
and then suddenly
I can see that dude in the real world.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I don't want my kids spending time with him, but I don't think we should kill him.
Yeah, exactly. I think honestly we should have had something more in between that and the tunnel, and had some more escalation, like to gradually build up to what I saw as just ghouls, like picking kids out of the thing and eating them. You saw like a giant monster. I saw
I saw a bunch of, because I mean we're talking about full-on fucking kids being eaten.
Yeah, and being just yanked out of carts.
So really quickly, I actually pictured the ride in a mountain. I don't know if it was stated in the story, but that's what I pictured.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing this, like, artificial mountain, and I mean, we live close to Wonderland, you know what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Wonderland.
you know what, you could have some fucking big-ass fucking dudes in there who fucking, some contraption, or maybe their hands themselves are picking the kids out. And but yeah, it's, like, I don't know what I was picturing. I was definitely leaving a lot of it blank, because, I like Lovecraft too.
Yeah, it was definitely like the one good inkling of that part is that it left it to the theater of the mind for whoever to like vision what the hell is the creature, which is good. But like if it was going to be like, I mean, there's actually a part where I was when you were talking about like it being a giant creature thing that just picking people out. I was like, as it was going by those like those lumberjack robots killing people and stuff like that, I was like, what's the point of that? There's this giant thing in there, and I was like, well, it would have been cool if like he started seeing like part of it or something like behind that. And then suddenly it goes all to black, and then kids start getting picked off. But yeah, like it lends itself to being that like to letting the reader like figure out what monster it is. But yeah, otherwise
at the same time, by the end of the story, you should know.
Yeah,
hopefully, or at least something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is just a hurry up ending.
Yep.
And
that he wanted to get to.
And the problem is that the ending isn't the only thing that's it's a hurry-up climax. And, I mean, come on. We've all met. We know you want to necessarily hurry through that climax. That's the good part. That's the fun part. That's the reason we all came to the show. Because apparently when I make love to a woman, it's a show.
Video camera and everything.
I think I might be mixing my metaphors. But you get what I mean. Like... Yeah. The climax is the reason to read a fucking long, drawn-out, fucking boring-as-fuck intro.
Yeah.
So, when it's a hurry-up climax, I'm just like, fuck you. Fuck you for making me read that introduction. It's so fucking amateurish. And, like, don't get me wrong, I'm okay with people who break rules, because, yes, writing has rules, but some of the best pieces can be when those rules are broken. But this isn't even aware of the rules. When you break rules, you're supposed to have a reason. Like, you don't revolt against the status quo for no reason. You have to have a reason for it. Like, I'm not going to overthrow the government with no game plan on how to run the country. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you don't do it. And this, like I say, it's like they don't even know the rules. Before they're like, well, those rules won't help me tell this story. It's fucking bad. It's bad on every level. Because I also noticed everything that you guys said. Plus everything that I said.
Yeah.
It's just, don't get me wrong. Like I said, there's an idea in here.
Yeah.
It's not the worst idea in the world. I was actually, like, up until the fucking log ride, I was kind of, not excited, but I was kind of enjoying my journey. I was like, oh man, this is a creepypasta that's gonna be really fucking long, and I'm not angry about the read that I'm expecting. And then it was over.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that'll show me for getting my hopes up. Because I honestly thought we were going to have, like, a really, really slow burn, and I didn't necessarily know what was coming. Like, was it going to be the old man and the old lady? Is there going to be a whole fucking... vanish. Is there going to be a whole fucking family? Is it going to be a supernatural thing? Like, is it going to be, like, some sort of sacrifice or what have you? I don't fucking know, and I was willing to take that trip. and then
It's
they
over.
get on the fucking log ride.
Yeah. And then he comes out. Nobody's around. Where the fuck are the old woman and the old man? Like, were they munching on kids in the back there?
Maybe
It
they're having...
really bad, but
Maybe they're fucking eating a dead chicken. Yeah. Who knows?
yeah, like no, they're nobody. Like it's like nobody else in the no. There's no other employees of this place. It's just the parents are walking away because they've been magicked away. They've been magicked to ignore their children.
Yeah, and that just like that whole fucking magic.
Like it could work, but you need to give us some consequence, or explain why cops haven't shown up. Why didn't the parents, like when they snapped out of the trance, say, "Hey, where are all the other kids? Why are all the parents leaving without their kids?" Like, why didn't they realize what was going on?
Well, because they were still under the spell. It's okay, because they remembered they had a kid. They didn't remember the other kids.
Yeah.
The other kids are still wiped from existence. I can buy that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hate it when you fucking come up with something so nitpicky that you make me have to defend such a piece of shit.
That's how it works.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it's. I was honestly on the fence about this one because I liked the idea it was proposing, but there was definitely things wrong with it.
A good idea does not a good story make.
Yeah.
How many times do I have to say this to you?
At least one more time.
A good idea doth not a good story make.
So yeah, is that it or?
I think it's enough, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of just made it sound like I changed your mind. Or maybe made it up for you.
You can't, like...
I didn't make it up your mind. I presented you with my opinion, and I made a very valid argument.
Yes.
You are not some puppet that I control with strings. I would never coordinate enough to pull that off.
I have no strings to pull me down.
Oh, shit.
Well, yeah, Mikey, do you have anything else before we go into recommendations?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll start with mine. Like I said, I was on the fence about this one because I liked parts of the story, liked the creepy atmosphere that was going for.
Wholeheartedly recommend it out of spite.
No, I'm not. I would recommend conditionally maybe taking a listen to the readings because some of those readings are really sometimes make a bad story good. So maybe have a listen to Mr. Creepypasta or Creeps McPasta. We'll leave a description in the description below. We'll leave a link in the description below. Maybe go read that. Go listen to that. But yeah, there was definitely some potential here, but because of the way it was written, I can't recommend the writing, reading the story as it is. There's just too many spelling errors. There's too many flaws, plot holes, just to get to some cool scenes. No.
Obviously, I don't recommend it. I mean, you can't say that something is fundamentally broken and still recommend it.
Yeah.
I was digging the idea, and that is the only nice thing I can say about it. Because, like I said, everything about this story from start to finish, when taken as a whole, it's fucking wrong. English is an art. Well, writing is an art. And there's no right and wrong in art. But this is wrong. Wrong. That's what it is. And anyone who has said anything different about this is wrong. Wrong. Wrong.
And
well, I honestly wanted to stop reading after the author decided to tell us that this was going to be the most mind-numbingly boring trip yet.
Yeah, I don't understand why you said that.
Yeah, honestly, if there was a road trip where I narrowly escaped being eaten,
that's not the most boring fucking thing of my life. That is.
Yeah, what were the other ones? Do your road trips honestly? Regularly contain fucking barbarian hordes and sea pirates and
alien invaders,
minotaurs, sleep paralysis.
Yeah, you just sleep paralysis in the back of the car from that one.
If this is the most boring road trip you've ever had, I got something to tell you. You take a road trip with me, it'll be fucking boring. There will be nary a barbarian horde or pirate wench
to be found.
So I don't recommend it. In fact, I didn't even find it creepy. And the fact that I had to reread the whole climax section to actually realize, oh yeah, that is kind of creepy, just sort of did not work.
Yeah, honestly, the juxtaposition of this sort of build-up, then fucking leap, and then climax, it took away the creep factor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like climbing up on the top of a building in Assassin's Creed, to the very top of the tallest building, getting ready to do the leap of faith, and then accidentally hitting the B button and falling off to your death.
Or it's like climbing the steps that Rocky climbed in Rocky. The ones in Philadelphia there. And then, taking 2 extra steps and being at the top of Mount Everest.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not what I thought it was.
Alright. Alright, so I guess that has been this week's episode. So if you like what you heard, if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below wherever this gets posted, whether it be on Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr. We're all on Twitter at Review Cultist, Dr. Leviathan. E stands for evil. And you can send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com, where you can leave us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. Also, we have a Patreon. So if you would like to support us, go over to Patreon, to Al Dente Rigamortis, and show some patronage. And I believe that is it. So
one more thing.
Oh.
If you like this story, go away.
All right. Well,
that's all.
That's from Leviathan. Luckily, he doesn't check all the emails. So until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm still Dr. Leviathan, in case you couldn't notice.
And I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.
What would I know what your car said?
Yep, that's my car. Fuck. No!
Alright, so while he's gone, yeah. What is this game Centipede? Oh.
Yeah. Turned white and then the screen turned red.
Sorry about that.
Well, I'm sorry about this.
Uh-oh. Oh, that was fine.
Oh, okay. Oh!
Turned white again?
Apparently.
I think we just lost the audio. Hey, it's fixed. Yeah.
I love modern electronics. 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 Love modern